The 2023 NBA draft had the potential to be one of the most exciting draft days we've had in a long time. With supreme talent at the top of the class and tons of rumors swirling ahead of the draft, we had no clue what was going to happen. Charlotte had a really tough decision to make with the number 2 pick, considering there was rumors that New Orleans might look to trade up, and then also being tasked with picking between Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller. They certainly had a lot of thinking to do. They end up going with Brandon Miller at number 2, who is certainly a better fit for this young Charlotte squad than Scoot is. The Hornets will be scrutinized heavily all summer and perhaps even longer, but I really do like the Brandon Miller pick for Charlotte. LaMelo Ball is already there as your lead guard, so adding Miller to play alongside him, a 6'9" wing from Alabama who's a dead-eye shooter, who has shown some playmaking chops and desire to compete on defense, I think is a really nice day one contribution for Charlotte. This also gives Charlotte the opportunity to move away from the often injured Gordon Hayward if they so choose. I'm higher on Brandon Miller than most. I think when you're in Charlotte's position though, you probably shouldn't be drafting for fit, and there's a great case that Scoot was the best talent available at number 2. Scoot Henderson gets selected by the Portland Trail Blazers at number 3, which puts Portland in a tough scenario we all saw coming. Do they trade Damian Lillard, or do they acquire the talent to fit around Dame instead? It seems more and more likely that Dame will be the one on the way out this offseason, and that is absolutely the right decision for Portland to make. According to Chris Haynes, Damian Lillard hasn't had any recent talks with Portland about the draft, free agency, or his future with the team. What we do know is that teams around the league are intent on keeping their guys. It was reported by Haynes that Siakam would not re-sign with any team that trades for him because he wants to stay in Toronto. It's very likely that Jaylen Brown will be signing a Supermax extension in Boston and will remain with the Celtics for the time being. The Clippers appear to have no intentions of breaking up the Paul George and Kawhi duo, so you can kiss that goodbye as well. With those 3 players off the table, there's really no one to pair with Dame to create a formidable contender in what was already a very stacked conference, with Denver leading the charge as the defending champions. If the roster stays as is, you have 3 guards on the team who are all much better with the basketball in their hands between Scoot, Damian Lillard, and Anthony Simons. And then you add Shaedon Sharpe into the mix. It just doesn't make any sense for either the growth of the young guys or competing for a title with Damian Lillard. I would be absolutely shocked to see Lillard still on the Blazers within the next couple of weeks. It was a quiet night at the top of the draft as far as trades are concerned, but we have one very clear winner of the draft, and that's the San Antonio Spurs. We've all known this for quite some time now, but the Spurs have officially drafted Victor Wembanyama as the number 1 overall pick of the 2023 draft. A kid from France who is easily the most intriguing prospect we've ever seen since LeBron James was selected number 1 overall 21 years ago. Wembanyama, a 7'5" big man who can handle like a guard, has limitless potential, and it seems like his career will go as far as his body will take him. A lot of people think he'll be best of the 5, but I really think Wemby's true potential is playing as the 4-man. I think his ideal situation defensively is alongside a bruising type big center. Think Steven Adams, Jakob Poeltl, or Brook Lopez. He could play in a similar role as a weak side defender to a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo or Jaren Jackson Jr. It could really raise his ceiling on his defensive impact in the NBA, as I imagine he will be one of the best defenders in the game as soon as he steps on the floor. The Spurs have a ton of cap space this offseason for the upcoming free agency period, so I would not be surprised if they decide to pursue either Brook Lopez or Jakob Poeltl to pair with Wemby in the frontcourt. Another big winner of the 2023 NBA draft was the Utah Jazz. The Jazz added Taylor Hendricks at pick 9, an extremely versatile frontcourt player, to add to their already very strong frontcourt of Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. Hendricks has the ability to play up as a wing at the 3 with both of those guys, or play down at the 4 if they want to give either Lauri or Kessler a breather. Hendricks measures at 6'8" with a 7-foot half-inch wingspan, which will allow him to be very impactful as a weak side rim protector, which is exactly what Utah can use on the defensive end. The Jazz also acquired Keontae George with the 16th pick, who has a lot of potential to be a very good scorer at the NBA level. A 6'4" guard from Baylor who is supremely confident and creative with how he gets his shots offensively. George needs to work on his decision making as well as his abilities on the defensive side of the ball, but with the rumors of the Utah Jazz shopping Colin Sexton, along with the impending free agency of Jordan Clarkson, there could be a big opening for Keontae to contribute right away this season. The biggest loser of the draft has to be Cam Whitmore. Cam was projected to go as high as number 4 in this year's draft to Houston, but was most commonly projected to go 5 to Detroit. Whitmore is a very athletic wing prospect, projected to at least slot into the 3-and-D role, but certainly has shown a lot of flashes as a secondary scorer and creator. Cam sliding from 4 all the way to 20 was a great get for the Rockets, as they leave the first round with both Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore, two of the best wing prospects in the entire class. But for Cam, on the other hand, this has cost him millions. The rookie scale contract for the 4th overall pick is set to be up to 4 years, up to $33 million with $15 million guaranteed, whereas the 20th pick is also set to be up to 4 years, but only up to $13 million with $5.5 million guaranteed. Obviously, if he has a long career, he'll be able to make up the difference no problem. But losing out on almost 2/3 of your potential salary due to a non-disclosed medical issue that Whitmore supposedly has no clue about has got to be a tough pill to swallow. I must say, I'm very excited to see what Bilal Coulibaly becomes in the NBA. The Wizards trade number 8 in a couple of seconds to move up to number 7 to grab Coulibaly. Many people, including myself at the time, believed it was a bit of a reach, but the more I think about it, this is the perfect type of pick for Washington in their current phase of team building. Bilal is a really raw player, a former teammate of Wembanyama with Metropolitans 92, one of the best teams in the LNB Pro A League in France. Bilal showed a ton of explosiveness, defensive instincts, and shot-making abilities down the final stretches of the season. Since the Wizards just recently acquired Tyus Jones, they now have the perfect table-setting point guard to get some young guys transitioned into NBA basketball. Monte Morris is also on the squad, but I can't imagine he'll be on the team for much longer. I plan on detailing the Wizards offseason soon, but to keep it really short for now, I really like where Washington is headed. The offseason is a long road and we have plenty more to talk about. Why don't you check out a couple of these videos to keep yourself up to date with the NBA offseason?